Hello there. Wow. So for this stream, we are going to unbox the new Gamo2 popoller. Pretty much the successor to the DJ Dao pop-in music controller that's been around for a while. I've cut this open, but I haven't looked at everything inside yet. So everything I pull out here will pretty much be a first look. And let's get started. Anyways, here's an explanation for what's right here. So right here on the right, we got the USB cable and the springs that are packed in with this. These are marked as 100-gram springs. There are 200-gram springs packed in here. And on the left here is an add-on I got. I got the BE2PS, which allows this to be used with the PlayStation 2. This was an extra... this was an additional cost, and it also added an additional cost of shipping too. I'm not going to demonstrate here, but I may do some videos later showcasing it. And just to make a nice comment here, I'm kind of surprised there's like a little like cutout in the foam to fit this in. Like I thought they'd just like have it in like a wrap and just throw it in the box or something. That's pretty neat. And get the front cover off. And there it is. So still got to get some more wrap off of here. I may have to like, let's see, can we pull this out? I think I may have to like slide it off from the side. Yeah, this is just like when I bought my original Dao. Yeah, get this out. See anything else in the box? Okay, there are the instructions right there. Get those out. Let's see, how much else? Just the rest of the packing material in there. So let me get the box out of the way. And here's the popoller. So let's see, we still need to like get some more packing stuff off of here. Just like with my original Dao, there were some stuff on top of the buttons. I'm pretty sure like on the original these were circular things that like covered the whole button, but kind of did, I don't know, it kind of looks like all like packing tape, but it's like plastic, but I don't think the difference really matters. Okay, so we got all that off. So let me know what buttons these are. I decided to go with the original Dao buttons that have been on it. One thing that's, I guess, been notorious about these buttons is that they do have a tendency to stick. I mean, I guess it goes without saying it goes for any buttons, but it's just notable on that. So since these now have 200-gram springs inside instead of the 100 that were in the previous generation, we'll see how they stack up right here. Okay. Few quick presses, they don't feel like I'm gonna stick that bad. So yeah, overall it looks like they pretty much like use like the same plastic and around the edges as the old one. I'm looking at the acrylic here, and looks like about as thick as the old one. I'd say but a lot of these screws they have around, they kind of looked red in the photos, but they're like copper colored. I'm also kind of surprised to see that they only have 2 screws holding in the acrylic, unlike the old one where it's like they had it all the way around, like on an arcade pop-in cabinet. So I guess let's go over to the side real quick before I get inside this. So the changes from the old one is that instead of being 2 illuminated square buttons, they have these 2 white ones here, which aren't illuminated. They're kind of like buttons on a fighting stick. I'd say that's pretty nice considering like the lights on it weren't necessary. Try some protective stuff on the top of these buttons. Let me get that off. And then the other thing on the side here is the USB Type B port where the cable goes. So unlike before on the Daos, where the cable came out up here and was permanently attached to the controller. Got this breakaway cable right here that plugs into the left. I'm going to give it a quick plug in here and make sure all the lights work. Oh, there we go. Took a moment. Alright, so that looks good. Alright, flipping it over. All right, and we got a translucent back case here, and one of the big new features of this now is that it is all, the bottom is completely magnetic. So we'll get to tear that off in a moment. My focus look okay? Yeah, I guess that's about the best we can do. It's kind of hard. Yeah, it's kind of hard to like pick this up from the legs and like try to get it open. Oh my. I think you're gonna definitely need like a tool or something to get this up. I don't know, it might get easier with time, I don't know. I wouldn't think I needed like a screwdriver or something. At least not for something like this. Okay. I'll get under a corner. There we go. Yeah, those are pretty strong. So there's the inside of it. So they got the cords on the inside pretty neatly bundled up here. So what should I look at first? So let me pull one of these buttons out and take a look at it. So they still got these black lamp holders here. I noticed in the pictures online of the popoller that they appear to have like this white lamp holder they were using for the Dao buttons, but from what it looks to me, they're probably using the same ones. And one thing I also wanted to check is, do they still use colored LEDs? Oh, I still gotta plug it in to the computer. Let's see, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, they still do. Got a green one there. All right, let's put it. Yeah, they. Taking a look at the microswitch, they still use the Omron V10 1A4s. So as always, those are pretty durable. And so yeah, there's a yellow one there. Even like kind of like in my old Dao controller, they got like a. They still have like a little like cord catcher thing up here. So one other thing I wanted to see is if they still use the same connectors as they did on the old Dao to connect to the board. I got my old one right here, so it looks like the same one, so but I'll just try it out. Ooh, they're like bundled so close together. Yeah, I'm gonna have to undo one of these zip ties. Let's see, can I just get one of these out? Just as an example. This is pretty close. Get my hand around. Oh yeah, I got a spudger here. Let's just try to like get it out using that. Yeah, never mind. The micro switches right here for the buttons are not traditional micro switches, and to be honest, I don't know exactly what these are, but I don't know. I kind of liked that in the old one you could like put micro switches like these for the buttons as spares, just in case you were like taking it around somewhere and like one of the switches went bad. But now that I'm finding that the side buttons use a different type of switch, you can't really take advantage of that now. So like for that use case, it's slightly disappointing, but probably not like a deal breaker for most people. But if you feel that way, leave a comment. Yeah, I guess I'm done looking inside here for now. So I'll just put this back on. Yeah, these are like some strong magnets here. I've never had a 2DX Dao controller or had the privilege of opening one up. Are they like this tough to like open up from the bottom? Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna get like easier with time on these, but I don't know. I guess I don't really like how you have to at least use a tool to like get the bottom of this open for being magnetic. And let me get my old Dao out here and put it side by side. Looks like you can get both of them in the shot pretty well. One moment. Yeah, it's gonna be like hanging off the table here. Yeah, it looks shorter, smaller in this, but this is just because my camera is just at an angle going down on this. But they're about the same size or same width. So that's how that looks with the older Dao Poppin' Music controller. Let me get out the Yuan controller and compare it side by side. So here it is. Yuan is a little narrower. It fits like inside this. I guess like over the top of it. Trying to. Seems like it has smaller dimensions all around. Yeah, it's even not as tall or deep either. Seems like sitting on this table here, the Yuan is just like a few millimeters lower. Just an aside about my Yuan controller down here. I got like the clear buttons around there, which was done on the previous generation of it before Yuan didn't produce any for a few years. And so some of the newer batch ones actually got like just like standard like black rim buttons that kind of look like this. So I thought it was interesting they were still using some old supply for this. I asked them I pointed out in the Yuan Discord, or just asked if anyone else got these clear buttons. One of them said they did, but like all the people that were like posting pictures of their controllers had like the black buttons instead. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and get Lively set up, and then we'll start playtesting on it. Oh, that's great. Wow,
Are you ready? Are you ready? Yuan, good! プレイしたい曲を選んでね。
자,
Here we go! Are you ready?
whether these are yet louder.
You are great! プレイしたい曲を選んでね。Are you ready? You are good! プレイしたい曲を選んでね。Are you ready?
I guess now that I've played on it a little bit, wanted to like give some quick thoughts about it. I didn't know how loud these buttons were going to be. It's been a while since I've played on Dao buttons, but these were pretty loud. I'm trying to think whether they were about as loud as Yuan's buttons over there. Kind of feels like these are much louder, but I don't know. Even though I got the stock Dao buttons here, I wanted to see if they'd still be prone to sticking. With the 200-gram springs in here, it didn't really feel like they stuck at all, so I guess that's a good thing. However, if I do like try this out later with 100-gram springs, I'll see how that goes. As far as what I'm expecting, there still could be some sticking with these, but it's mostly just your mileage may vary with these buttons. And even though like Samducks have often been touted as one to upgrade to in order to like get away from these buttons sticking, those are still prone to it too, as with any other ones new. So may want to be careful with that if you decide to get the option with the Samduck buttons in there. They'll still have the 200-gram springs in there. So perhaps the best solution may be to like play with the heavier springs just to break the buttons in, and then swap the 100-gram springs in there. I'm trying to think about what I did with my old Dao when I swapped from these buttons to Samducks. For like about a month or two, I used the springs that were included in the Samduck buttons, which weighed about, some say about 300 grams. Between using those and then the 100-gram Samwa springs that I got for the Samducks, they did not stick at all. So if you get one with Samducks, just be wary that they might stick. Play with the other springs in it. But overall, but that's all to say about the sticking, I guess. I guess like onto the buttons too. When I open this, like a few of these are like spinning around, kind of like what Samducks do, and I didn't think I'd experience that on these Dao buttons here, because I didn't remember having that problem on my old Dao with the Dao buttons. So that's something interesting to note here. I know like some people with like the Samduck buttons spinning around, you can like spin it like a turntable like this. That kind of bothered them. In my opinion, it doesn't when playing. So if you buy the stock Dao buttons, like keep that in mind if you're trying to avoid that, or you just may want to go with a different button option if you want to get away with that, or like the Yuan controller doesn't like spin around like this, So if like everything in the Yuan interests you, maybe go for that. I do like that it recognizes it as like the premium controller in Lively, so that way the side buttons here can be used to navigate through the menus, as I found out. Um, that was kind of a pleasant surprise to see that. And there are other modes you can get this controller into here. This has a keyboard mode, just like the Yuan does, to where these buttons will act as a keyboard board. There are also other modes too, to where you could play DJ Max and Project DIVA like this. The modes will be included on the manual if you want to go that route, but I'd imagine most of the people interested in buying this controller aren't probably going to use it that way. This also has an HID mode. On the old Dao, to do any kind of like light control with it, you'd have to upgrade the board on the inside. Now that there's an HID mode on this, you won't have to get like a separate board anymore, like an Arkin, or in the case of the Yuan, the Roxy. So it's good that exists. I should also mention that the polling rate on these is enhanced. These are 1000 hertz. I've heard some say that the old board on the Dao is 250. There was someone that said you could upgrade the old Dao board to do a polling rate of 1000 hertz, but I haven't tried that personally. I guess like one thing about this that kind of disappointed me was that I guess the bottom wasn't easy to pull off of the magnetic, and you'd still need like something to like pry under it. I guess it's still better than the old Dao, where you had like a bunch of screws on the bottom that you had to take off, and that took a lot of time to do. So, but yeah, like even despite me not liking how hard it was to take off, it's still better than having to take all those screws off, even like, and on top of that, since it's like tough to get on there, like if you're slapping on it real hard, it won't just like pop off. So yeah, despite my like complaint about being a little hard, it's kind of necessary in the end for it to be that tough to pull off. Yeah, and since like the magnetic back is on here, you don't have to worry about the screws falling out anymore. That was a pretty common thing on any Dao, for like the screw holes to degrade eventually. On my old Dao, like the whole bottom row wouldn't stay in there, and then like I took out a bunch around the side so I didn't have to like take off so much, and eventually like the ones I had just holding this up here started falling out. So if I decide to keep my old Dao or something, I'd probably gonna do like what some people do and like mod Velcro around the edges, so that way it's easy to pull off. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with playing on this. I guess I'll go into talking about like my experience with the Yuan controller. When when I was playtesting it the first time, there were a few buttons that appeared to be misfiring, and I wasn't really sure why. So like after a little bit, I just like kind of let it sit. I was also talking with people in the Yuan Discord to figure out what to do about it. Picked the controller back up after a few weeks, and it seemed like the misfiring went away for the most part. There were still, I guess I didn't know why it was happening, but when I brought up it was misfiring, Yuan did mention like they went over the buttons with a like kind of massage gun, so, just to make sure they weren't stick. So like finding out that was something they did. I kind of hope that they didn't do it while the micro switch was in there. But whatever happened with that, it seems to have gone away. I mean, when I first got it, I thought it was like maybe the board was causing the misfiring, because I was kind of in denial about like the switches doing anything like that because it was new, and like they're using the durable V10 switches like these are. I guess I didn't mention the price on these. So the popoller starts at a base price of $229. When I calculated the shipping to me in the United States, it came out for just the controller for I got it written down here, about $396. So almost 400 shipped for this controller in the U.S. I bought the B2PS with it, which cost a little more, so this ended up being almost about 430, I think, to get it. So I'll talk about shipping on this too, just so you know. They sent me a tracking number with the carrier being SF Express, which I guess is a shipping courier in Hong Kong. After it got sent to the US, it actually got sorted and delivered to me via UPS, which had a different tracking number on it, but they didn't know it was coming that way. But the thing is, with the SF Express tracking number, it'll also tell you where it is in your home country too. So, yeah, I wanted to note on that too. Shipping with the Yuan, on the other hand, that was all via DHL. I guess going back to price, since shipping internationally has gone up pretty high lately, I guess what most American players will be doing is waiting for Gamo2's US Storehouse to be stocked. but who knows when that will happen. I'll just say that when I got my pop-in controller through the US Storehouse, it was a flat rate price of $289. Shipping was taken care of. So I'm wondering if it's gonna like stay around that price. Could it go higher, or are they? And since Samducks are an option now, I wonder how many of these are gonna have like the Dao buttons or the Samducks. Are they gonna have both? Like any combination of that is kind of unknown at this point. I guess like the color here. I know I've heard some complaints about the color, but it doesn't really bother me at all. The color on my camera is kind of weird, but it's more of like a very very golden yellow rather than like the pale yellow you may be noticing here. I think like the color is better there, but I guess as far as like representing pop-in colors, it's a bit weird, but as far as like a dependable controller, which is probably what I'd look for, I guess like the aesthetic wouldn't really bother me that much unless I wanted to like use it in like making this look like a cab or something. I guess let's get to whether I'd recommend buying this or the Yuan controller. Just get a quick rundown of Yuan's price again. It's a base price of $149. Shipping to the US brings it up to $268. So it's much cheaper than the popoller right here. I'd probably recommend the Yuan if you're just getting into the game and aren't sure if you like pop-in music at all. And even though you'll be into like, you'll probably be investing at least like $300 to have a pop-in setup at home. It's still like a very like high cost of entry compared to like 2DX and Samducks, which have cheaper controllers. So like having the lower price point for that is definitely an attractive thing. And then like even though it's cheaper, like the buttons that the Yuan has on it still have still good enough to be upgradable and maybe be like tinkered around with. So, because it looked like there were plenty of opportunities to where like you could maybe like put some like sound deadening foam on the inside of it and do that sort of thing. So like if you want to like, so I guess in summary for the Yuan it's like if you're either not sure if you're gonna like the game or you want like a bare bones controller to where you can like mess around with stuff on it and mod it, then maybe a Yuan would be a better pick for you. So I guess with the popoller here, I'm gonna try my best not to call it a Dao, but I'm sure people will still call it that. It really does feel like a complete product. I know people were concerned that when they mentioned 200 grams springs before they finally revealed all the details, that there wouldn't be 100-gram springs, but it's good that they're at least packed in there. I guess some people would still want to see that 100-gram springs are an option and not have the 200 ones with it. But but who knows if it'll change in the future. If you want to see like an option for like different springs, kind of like what the 2DX and Samducks ones have, I guess send them an email. And like now that this board is in here, it's got HID light support, and the polling rate is I'll say is pretty high and more favorable. There's no need for like buying anything extra for that at all. I guess for like all these like improvements they've made to the controller here to where like the previous generation didn't excel well at it. This would definitely be a good one to buy if you're already really into the game and I guess want a controller where it pretty much needs nothing to get playing. I guess now that you have these like smaller buttons on the side, I am kind of disappointed you can't put like larger microswitches in there to carry around as spares. I guess I was also going to like talk about whether you should upgrade to this from a older Dao. I kind of feel like to like set like the tone like with myself. I'd have to like talk about like everything I've done to my Dao over there. So instead, I guess I'll just say this. Since it appears like looking up from the inside that like all the connectors in there are the same as the old one, a board upgrade for the old Dao controllers is definitely possible, and Gamo2 on Twitter mentioned an upgrade board can be sold, but to like upgrade to this from an older one, I think if you want the magnetic back, I think that's okay, but I'd prefer if you wanted to go through the labor of it, getting the Velcro mod done on the old one, and then trying trying to contact Gamo2 about selling an upgrade board later on. But if you wanted to upgrade it, go to their website at Gamo2.com or mention them on Twitter at Gamo2, GAMOTWO, and just let them know you may be interested in purchasing a board upgrade for the pop-in controller. So my overall first impression of this is that it's definitely a pretty good pop-in controller, but the price is a little high to try to recommend it to anyone who may be starting out in it. And another thing with this, it applies to the Yuan controller too, is that just the buttons on both of these, the default ones are pretty loud. In my Dao now, I have Samwa buttons in it, and while they do still make noise, they're much quieter than these. So I can definitely notice the difference. And Poppin is probably, out of all the demonic games, the loudest one to play at home. So if you're concerned about noise when playing, you may want to consider that or you definitely want to can factor that into whether you buy one of these controllers or not. And it'd probably be a good idea to look into ways of suppressing the noise on these buttons. I'm thinking of a few offhand, one of the ones that are commonly done is stuffing paper towels inside of the domes of these buttons to help dampen the noise. Another thing is separating these and putting some paper discs in between where the button hits. And then kind of like what I mentioned when talking about the Yuan, there's definitely some space on the inside of the case where you could put some acoustic foam and try to suppress noise that way. So this is the my overview of unboxing the Gamo2 popoller, and I guess I'm going to end the live stream here. Thank you for watching.